The Way of the Lantern. It was a dark autumn evening when Petya, a poor shoemaker's apprentice, was returning home after a long day's work. His little room in the slums of the city seemed to him in those days the only bright place where he could rest from the hustle and bustle of concerns. Petya walked with his head bowed low, his worn clothes almost blending into the shadows of the streets. Suddenly, ahead of him, he discerned a faint glow. It was an old woman, loaded with heavy bags, who was laboriously carrying a small kerosene lamp. Petya hurried to help her. "Let me help you carry your load," he said, carefully taking the bags from her. "Thank you, my dear boy," the old woman mumbled in a trembling voice. "How good that you happened to be nearby. I was afraid I wouldn't make it home in the pitch darkness." They slowly moved forward, the light of the lamp illuminating their path. "Tell me, boy, do you believe in the Lord?" the old woman suddenly asked. Petya was a little embarrassed, but he answered, "Yes, Grandma. I try to live by the commandments of Christ, although at times it is very difficult." "Well, I believe too," the old woman said quietly. "And do you know what the Lord tells me? He commands me to be a light in this dark world, to shine for others, so that they do not get lost in the darkness. For the light of Christ illuminates the path for everyone who is ready to follow him." Petya pondered her words. Indeed, is not the essence of the Christian life to be a light for others, to light their way? Although his own life may seem dark and joyless, he can become a beacon for those who wander in the gloom of despair and hopelessness. They reached the old woman's house, and Petya carefully set her bags at the threshold. "Thank you, my dear," she smiled. "You truly became a light in the dark world for me. May the Lord protect you." Petya watched the old woman as she walked away, and a new fire began to burn in his heart, the fire of faith and determination. He swore to himself that from now on he would strive to carry the light of Christ wherever fate might take him. Even if his own life seems shrouded in darkness, he will light the way for others, helping them find the path to God. From that day on, Petya tried to live in such a way that his deeds and actions would lead people to the light. He helped the needy, comforted the suffering, and guided the lost. And wherever he went, an unwavering light followed him, illuminating the path for those who walked beside him. Years passed. Petya grew old, but he did not lose his faith and determination to be a lantern for others. And in the darkest days of his life, when hope seemed to be fading, he remembered the old woman's words. The light of Christ illuminates the path for everyone who is ready to follow him. And this light never went out in his heart. When Petya was on the threshold of eternity, those whom he had helped over the years came to him. They surrounded his bedside, holding small candles in their hands. And in the light of these flames, Petya's face was lit up with a joyful smile. He understood that although his own lantern was about to go out, those who had lit their candles from his flame would continue to carry the light of Christ into this dark world. And this is the most valuable legacy he can leave behind. So every Christian is called to be a lantern, illuminating the way for others. For the light of the Lord must burn in the hearts of believers, lighting their path and showing the way to those who have lost their way in the darkness. And even if our own life seems to be engulfed in gloom, we can always kindle at least a small flame of hope that will warm and support the suffering.